everyone, welcome to the Michigan City Park Board meeting for November 20th, 2019. If you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Shannon, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Latchford?
Here.
Mr. Freeze?
Here.
Mr. Lang?
Here.
Ms. Espar? Here.
The minutes from our November 6th meeting have been presented to us. Unless there are any corrections, additions, do we have a motion to approve?
I so move.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, we'll move on to old business with some project updates from Jeremy.
Thank you. And the long-standing ESG project continues to remain on our agenda. Right now, our last few weeks, they were dealing with some weather issues. Obviously, winter decided to show up a little sooner than we had originally anticipated. But weather has caused some delay and some safety concerns with that job regarding the rewiring, fuses, things of that nature. But then there also had to be some additional review of the wire and fuses because there were some size discrepancies. So I believe they have that completed, they have that all worked out, and I believe they are going to attempt to start work this weekend, or at least some of the preliminary work. So I talked to Andy Scaff from Otis Electric, and that seems to be the timeline for that. And then there also is going to need to be some turf repair that's going to need to be done from some of the equipment that's been out there. If, depending on timing, it doesn't work out this fall, they've done some work, or winter now I guess I should say, they have done some work that they will remain committed to come out in the spring to do turf repair, any minor turf repair that might be needed at that point in time. That is really about it to report on the project itself from our last meeting that concerned the park department. I'd be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Thanks, Jeremy. Any questions?
No.
All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to the tabled business of the Park Department 2019 third quarter report. Do we have a motion to remove it from the table?
I would make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
All right. Are you aware of any comments or questions from the public in regard to the report?
There was no questions or comments received from the general public. I did receive communication from Mr. Lang, who had a question on page 15, which is the zoo report. There are 3 unfortunate deaths listed in July, and those same deaths were listed in September. So the Quince monitor, the day gecko, and the American crow. That was a typo, so thank you for catching that. They just happened in December. In September, sorry. And it was not in July, so you can strike it from July. We have updated the actual third quarter report upon approval this evening. That correction will be posted.
Thank you, Jeremy. Any other questions or comments about the report? Any questions from the public? Not, do we have a motion to approve the Park Department 2019 third quarter report?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
All right, we'll move on to new business, and the first item is the Michigan City Municipal Band 2020 schedule. Jeremy?
Yes, and this recurring annually, the same type of layout and concept from the Michigan City Municipal Band, but this will now be their 152nd season in Michigan City, and obviously working again with the Michigan City Parks Department at the amphitheater specifically, and I would be highly inclined to recommend approval of this evening. They are a phenomenal group to work with. It brings wonderful concerts and evenings into Washington Park on an annual basis for our season. So I want to thank them for the hard work they do. They also are good stewards of our amphitheater green room and of the interior, that they have let us know potential maintenance issues and things of that nature. So they, again, just great partners to have, and would highly recommend approval this evening.
Thank you, Jeremy. Any questions about the summer band schedule?
I don't have any questions about the schedule, but it certainly is a pleasure to go down there on Thursdays and just sit back and relax and listen to the music. It's very comfortable.
Indeed.
152nd season. That boggles my mind. Really, that's amazing.
Yeah, I missed a couple early.
Any questions from the public? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the Michigan City Municipal Band 2020 schedule?
I so move that we approve the municipal band summer calendar for 2020, 152nd season.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Next item is the Johnson John Service Agreement Renewal. Jeremy?
Yes, and similar to some of our other agreements that we've had at recent meetings, this was a 3-year agreement initially that the Park Board approved from Johnson & John's, and they've done a very, very good job for us, above and beyond what we could ask as far as coming out for additional cleanings, last minute notice, or porta pot's been vandalized, to get out and replace it, graffiti removal, things of that nature. They've been spot on, been a wonderful organization and company to work with. So this would just be to approve them for year 3 of that service, and then post 2020 for the 2021 and beyond seasons, we would go out for a rebid, similar again to some of our other contracts that we have. So be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you, Jeremy. Any questions?
No.
Any questions from the public? All right, if none, do we have a motion to approve the Johnson John Service Agreement Renewal for the 3rd and final year?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
All right, we have the same thing with the Hatfield Pest Control Service Agreement. We are considering a renewal for this as well. Jeremy?
Yes, and same exact concept here. This would be year 3 for that service, and Hatfield has again done a phenomenal job for us, above and beyond. Anytime we add a new facility or in the past, or have add additional calls in, they've been spot on, and their service is quite like anything else we've seen in this field before. So, would highly recommend approval this evening.
Thank you, Jeremy. Any questions for Jeremy?
Just, is it inside and outside?
Yeah, it depends on the facility, but you know, they will do exterior, and then they come and do the interior space as well. And we know when they've been there.
There's a smell.
Not really a smell, but things turn up, I guess is the best way of putting it. So we've had issues before, and when they've come out, and the problem has gone away. So that they're using the right stuff.
And they take care of the maintenance building as well as Patriot Park, the zoo, golf course.
All of our facilities, yes, including North Point Pavilion. We've had them at even the greenhouse now, things of that nature. So yeah, all of our facilities are included in that.
Great, thank you. Any questions from the public? All right, if there are no other questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve the Hatfield Pest Control Service Agreement Renewal for the 3rd and final year?
I so move that we, let's see, just a minute, just lost my train of thought. So move that we accept the renewal for the 3rd year for Hatfield Pest Control for 2020.
I would second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The next item on the agenda is the 2020 parking fees for Washington Park. Jeremy?
Yes, and for that this evening, we're only looking at one change moving into 2020 that was brought up by Mr. Latchford. If you do recall, or for those of you who are not on the board, might not recall, I believe it was back in 2014, we implemented a county fee structure for our parking stickers at a $25 reduced rate, and we saw sales kind of skyrocket, and it was a huge influx in revenue because people that normally wouldn't have purchased it for the $40 decided to purchase it for the $25. And as you can see on the graph, this past year we had only 4 non-resident out-of-state purchases. So the thought process here is to do something similar to that concept, is have our Civil City resident, which is obviously free, our senior center members, which would be, that are out of state, would be $23, and then LaPorte County resident is $25, and then outside of LaPorte County, no matter where that is, one set fee of $40. So I truly feel this was a great. Appreciate you bringing this up, Mr. Latchford. I think it kind of behooves us to check this out or to try it out to see if it does increase revenue. Because at the end of the day, all we would need to sell is an additional 10 stickers, and we've made that money back of what we would have originally sold those 4 that we sold last year. So I don't think that's inconceivable, and I think it might continue to drive more people to Washington Park. So I would definitely recommend approval as presented with just the one outside of LaPorte County fee of $40. Happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you, Jeremy. Any questions or comments about the proposal and or the report?
I just think that's a great idea, and my hat is off to you for thinking of that, because I think that's going to make a difference.
Thank you. I'd have to admit that the report really generated the question. This report is so well done and laid out. It has our historical trends, and you can see where the activity, where the expense is, where the revenue is, what's driving the revenue, when there has been fee increases, what that has caused or not caused. So it's, without the format and all the information provided, maybe some of those observations wouldn't have been so readily available. So I give my hats off to whether it's Shannon, whoever compiled and made the report. It was well done. Any other questions or comments? Maybe only one other comment. It's 2019 was kind of a tough year in regard to our profitability. It's the first year in the last 5 years or so that it actually dipped. And the reason for that was the poor start to the summer season. And I think there were probably some staffing issues too that may have caused early closure of some of the lots, which affected some of the parking. But mainly it was the rough start to the summer. But it's still a significant source of revenue for Michigan City. If there are no other questions from the board, any from the public? If not, do we have a motion to approve the 2020 parking fees as presented?
I would so move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, the next item on the agenda is the Otis Elevator contract addendum proposal.
Yes, and that is in front of you and presented, being that we are being a loyal customer to Otis with the installation of the elevator at North Point Pavilion. They are presenting us with a 5% discount. So it was $318.27 per month down to $303 per month. And it's very important that we continue to stay in the service agreement with them. Unfortunately, for the many times that we've had issues with the elevator, we would be paying quite a bit more money. I don't have what that actually equates to, but I can tell you it would be quite a bit more money with the amount of times, a handful of times each season that we have to call them out to come out and do, whether it's a minor repair. This last year they had to replace an entire board that went bad. So by having this agreement, they're available to us. They get they put us right to the top of the list once that service call comes in, and their techs are very good with communicating directly with us, setting up meeting times to make sure they have access to the facility. So I think it behooves us to continue or to extend this another 3 years to continue to have that same service at North Point Pavilion.
Thank you, Jeremy. Any questions for Jeremy? I have just a couple. Last time we went through this process of vetting this contract, and there was another KOTE, I believe was the other one. And we spent a lot of time and effort and got this contract in a pretty good place for the park department. And to have an opportunity to get it with another 5% discount, I feel confident renewing it without sending it out to bid again, just because having gone through that previously. So that would be one comment. And the only other question I was you answered it. They still come out and make service calls, but is the issue with the constant jumping up and down the elevator, has that been resolved?
Yeah, so they've made some adjustments to, I believe it's called the governor on there, that doesn't trip it as easily. It takes a little bit more of a force to stop the elevator. We didn't have nearly as many incidents this past year. What we had is more, ended up unfortunately being more mechanical. And we're still trying to figure out the source, but some way, when there's a straight line wind with rain coming off the lake, we are getting water into the pit somehow. So we've done a lot of different things. I truly feel it's coming somehow through the door, but we've replaced basically every aspect of that, made additional adjustments, had the contractor come back out and make adjustments to the door. You can spray a pressure washer hose and nothing comes through, and then we get a significant rain event and there's water everywhere. So it doesn't matter at what, it's just hitting it the right or wrong way. So we're continuously looking at that. So outside of water getting into there occasionally, for the most part, the everyday issues that we seem to have early on have been corrected.
Great.
So from that standpoint, I'm very confident. And again, they were out there every day for probably 2 weeks straight, working with some of those items and adjusting it and doing that for us. And it was because of the service agreement that we had entered into with them.
Excellent. I'm glad it's working. That was quite challenging early on.
Just one question on that. So, the original service agreement allowed an option for a 3-year renewal, so that we don't have to then rebid and reselect them. We can simply just exercise that option of a 3-year renewal.
Correct.
Okay.
If there are no other questions from the board, any questions from the public? All right, seeing none, if there is no other discussion, do we have a motion to approve the Otis Elevator Maintenance Agreement renewal?
I so move that we go ahead and approve the renewal agreement for Otis Elevator Maintenance starting on the 1st of 2020.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, we have a few resolutions that are on the agenda next. And these are all in regard to basically just moving funds around within existing funds, moving them around in the budget to cover areas that may be short in one area and over in the other. But I'll read specifically each one. And the first is resolution number 906. It's with the golf course. In this golf course number 2062, we want to decrease the repairs and maintenance building and increase in the same golf course fund 2062 supplies, building materials. And that's for $4,000. So again, it's a $4,000 decrease of repairs and maintenance and a $4,000 increase in supplies, building material. If there are no questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve? Resolution number 906.
I would move that we approve resolution number 906.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next is resolution number 907. Same concept, but this is in the park maintenance fund, decreasing seasonal wages $9,800, and therefore increasing same fund number 2056.505, park maintenance fund, household supplies by $500, telephone by $1,000, sewage by $800, contractual by $5,000, small tools by $2,500. Unless there are any questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve resolution 907?
I so move that we approve resolution number 907.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, 2 more to go. The next is resolution number 908. Same concept, we want to decrease fund 2056504, zoo fund, building materials, and then increase the same fund, 2056.504, zoo fund, vacation buyback for $1, and vacation bonus holiday incentive for $368. Unless there are questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve number 908?
I would move that we approve resolution number 908.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, and the last resolution tonight is number 909. We would like to decrease Fund 2056.503, Recreation Fund, seasonal wages by $3,000, and then increase the same fund, 2056.503 recreational fund, small tools, by that same 3,000. Unless there are questions or comments, do I have a motion to approve number 909?
I so move that we approve resolution number 909.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Is there any other business on the agenda that we haven't addressed?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to the superintendent's report. Jeremy?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Our Festival of Holiday Lights are in full swing as far as the installation and putting all the displays up and getting everything in the park and down in Washington Park lit up. I want to thank the Vector Control Department, as we are short-staffed with lack of seasonals that have stayed on staff, and they have been sending a handful of workers over to assist us and help us. I do want to thank the Vector Control Department for being so receptive to that. But the lights will go on Saturday, December 7th at 4 p.m. But something else pretty neat happened is a couple dropped off a bunch of donuts and coffee for all the maintenance staff and just told them how much they, and then thanked them for everything they did and how hard they work at putting up the Festival of Holiday Lights annually and how much they enjoyed and things of that nature. So I just want to thank I did not get the names of them, but I do want to thank them if they are listening, as it was a morale boost for the department, and I really appreciated them coming out and doing that and noticing their hard work. Once we have the lights completed, probably we'll be all the way up until about December 7th. Probably on December 6th, that Friday, we'll be finishing tying up everything. We will get back to leaf pickup, assuming hopefully we have no snow and things like that. Some of our cleanup in Washington Park from some of our wind events. So hopefully we'll get back to that sooner than later. Regarding Millennium Park or Millennium Plaza, I mentioned that the plantings and everything was completed by Servicescape. I just want to give you a quick idea of some of the plantings, and I'm probably going to totally destroy some of these names, so I'll apologize. But there was a total of 50 Globe Masters, they're very tall purple globes that were planted, 300 Tulip Pride Mix, which is a tall red, orange, purple, and pink, 100 Tulip Prastons, they're shorter red plants, and then 50 Tulip Humulus, I'm going to say Humulus, which are small blue and white. So that's a total of 500 plantings that were done as a part of this project that will get us back to where we were originally. That come springtime, when you come over that bridge, Millennium Plaza should pop. So I just want to thank Servicescape for their hard work. She did send me that, and I want to thank her for that, because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just, hey, they removed a bunch of stuff, wow, what did they do? But that we actually are, know, and it's on record of what was actually planted. I know it was with the what was bid out and what we received and what we accepted, but I think it's important for the public to actually hear what is planted out there, even though I probably didn't say it right. We did hold our pre-bid meeting at the old Lighthouse Museum for that project, for the exterior renovation on the windows. There were 3 general contractors present yesterday, so I'm fairly confident and certain that come next meeting that we'll have some competitive bids in for that project, and we're looking forward to really getting that started. On the kind of the front of or the topic of projects, we do have quite a few outstanding projects that we are currently working on or have in the queue, if you will, whether they're grant funded, whether there's grant city match, or whether they were discussed city funding in some fashion that we would be going for and receiving, whether it was now or in early 2020. That now we're kind of being put on hold just because there will be a change in administration, change in city council, things of that nature. So I'm eagerly anticipating a meeting with Mayor-elect Perry to inform him and bring him up to speed on what we've been working on, because there were some very important projects that we were planning on moving forward with early 2020. So I'm hopeful that those will continue to stay at the top of a desired wish list, but I think it's important that instead of trying to push anything or get something in now, that we really bring him into the fold and get an understanding of where he sits and understanding of what our visions and our plans are, and hopefully can then move forward with some of them, all of them, or whatever that might be. But I think it's important that we do our due diligence and work with him on that. So I'm eagerly anticipating that happening in the very near future. With that, no vandalism to report this evening, and I'd be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you, Jeremy. Any questions for Jeremy? I've got one comment in regard to Millennium Park. It's nice to hear that the planning's continued, and Mr. Manner's here, and I'd like to thank him and the Port Authority, because when requested, they jumped in right away and with funding to help kick off that project, and that certainly acted as a catalyst to get others involved and to get the city behind it. And we're starting, and especially in the spring, we'll see the full effect of everyone's efforts. But thank you again for your effort and for helping secure that funding. If there are no other questions or comments, we'll move on to the liaison report. And I'm the Planning Commission liaison, but there was not a meeting since our last meeting. Port Authority, Mr. Freeze.
There was a meeting Monday, but nothing to concern us.
Thank you. And Zoo Society, Mr. Lang.
The Zoological Society canceled their meeting because of the weather, so they will not have another one until December.
Great, thank you. Any attorney's report tonight? Nothing to...
No, sir. Attorney Pichardo had a medical incident regarding a basketball game, so that's why he was unable to be here this evening.
Okay. Any director's reports?
No, sir.
I'll move right on to department finances. Mr. Lang.
Under city claims docket for November the 20th, 2019, total claims of $81,182.24, and I so move that we accept the docket and make that payment.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Next is payroll number 23. This is a pay date of November 8th, 2019, and this covers the date 10/20/19 to 11/02/19. The total payroll is $50,117.41, and I so move that we make this payroll.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Under reports of gifts and donations, there are none at this time. Under minor transfers, maintenance fund number 2056, a decrease in line item 411, seasonal wages of $419, and an increase in line item 413, vacation bonus of $419. Under senior center fund 2056, a decrease in line item 439, contractual of $300, an increase in account number 435, sewage of $300. So again, this is simply moving things around to meet the demands that they have at this time. And I would like to make a motion that we accept those minor transfers.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Under zoo endowment, there is nothing at this time. Under the Board of Works, none at this time. Under credit card charges, none at this time. And that is all.
Thank you. We'll move right on to comments from the public. Seeing none, any comments from the board? All right.
Hey.
Yes.
Seeing none, we will, our next park board meeting is Wednesday, December 4th, 2019, right here at 5 p.m. Do you have a motion to adjourn?
So move.